Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And over there stands Robert. And today I'm going to be doing the second half of my What Sold video, which will be for last weekend, Friday through Sunday, April 11th through the 13th. And I mentioned this in my previous video. That Friday evening, I believe it was, I started this coupon, 10% off my store. There was nothing that I, withheld from the sale. And my sales picked up to the point where Sunday was like my second best day of the last 31 days. And it's been pretty consistent since. It's either been just a little bit above normal for me or better than normal. So it's working. I know some people are struggling with sales, but it's trying to do different things to make the algorithm happy, to make your items more desirable, things like that. Taking offers that are less than what you were hoping for, makes, it just seems like when I start selling a few things, then I sell a bunch more things. When I start a sale, I tend to do better than if I don't have a sale on. And this coupon has just been one more thing in my, my arsenal of things that I'm trying that's, seems to be making a difference. So, just keep that in mind. I do the end and sell similar of my oldest listings every single day. I truly, truly believe that helps as far as not letting your listings get stagnant. I run a constant sale. Monday through Thursday, I do a sale. Friday through Sunday, I do a sale. Same as the lengths of these sale videos that I do. Now I'm running this constant coupon. And the thing with the coupon is, if you send out offers, the coupon cannot be stacked. But if you're running a sale, like I've got a 10% off sale, they can stack on the coupon. But you can exclude things. If you have brand new, I don't know, something, and you don't want it to be in a sale, you can exclude them from the coupons. But I did an all in just to see. And I think it's something I'm going to stick with for a while. Because it seems to have made a difference. I'm always, listening to what others are saying in YouTube videos, in Facebook groups. And, this particular idea, the 10% coupon, actually came from my friend Courtney, who said she had heard it from somebody else that eBay was pushing store coupons and bumping those people that had store coupons up in the algorithm. That mysterious thing called the algorithm. But, I'm always trying to figure out, because for us, this is our primary income. So, I have a set amount that I like to make every day, every week, every month. And when things have been slow, like it was in February and March, I've been trying a whole bunch of different stuff. And this seems to be working for me right now because my sales are very up. I think on our little handy dandy chart thing, I think I'm up like 25% from this time last month. So it's working. It's working. So don't get in that thing where it's like, no, my prices are firm and I'm just going to wait it out. Well, when it's your primary income, you can't do that. You got to do what you got to do to make the sales. And that's what we're doing. And my sales are good. So
you do that even on your more expensive items?
Nope.
Anyway.
Y'all, it caused me stress to have, when I do my 10% off sale, I cap it at $49.95. Anything that's above that isn't in my 10% sale. But I send offers, and this 10% coupon is also, but it killed me to have, 10% sale plus a 10% coupon. And then if somebody's sending out offers of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, I've got one in here, y'all. I got one because I know he did it.
Did it sell?
It sold.
Was it old? Was it old?
It was, but wait till we get there. Just wait till we get there. I'm gonna call you out on it.
We do all this stuff because we're trying to hit the eBay algorithm. It's like a
to make
target.
it happen.
It's like the algorithm is a target, and I assume they're constantly tweaking it, or maybe they've got some sort of AI going on behind the scenes that determines what to push at what time. Because I was looking at buying some cloud storage space, right, to store our files and stuff on. And sometimes one of the site I was looking at, File In was the name of it. They offer lifetime plans so that you could pay like 3 or 4 years worth, and then you get that for lifetime. You don't have to pay the annual fee. And then their questions, their frequently asked questions, it said they have an algorithm that determines based on supply and demand as to when they offer that lifetime thing. And I wonder if eBay has something behind it that's got some sort of algorithm that, depending on what's selling and the season and what not selling, that algorithm is constantly sort of shifting itself, and us trying to hit it, it's kind of like trying to shoot Neo in the Matrix. It's just doing its thing to avoid you.
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying is, what works today might not be working in 3 months.
But I'm going to always keep trying. Keep my ear to what is working for other people. Give it a try. Talk to you guys about it. And then, not everything I do is going to work for you, and not everything you do works for me. And, I have definitely changed how I do business over the 4 years as we've gone through this together. So it's just always a constant changing thing.
And we learn from each other.
We do. All right, so let me go ahead and show you what sold on Etsy and on eBay.
We don't hide this stuff from you all that we do. I mean, we show you exactly what sells, with the type of sales that we have going on, that we got coupons going on.
First thing that sold on Etsy was this vintage Commonwealth Shaggy Dog plush. And this is just one of those times we talked about using the word vintage. There's a lot of Commonwealth plush out there. So on this particular listing, I did decide to put vintage in the front of this listing. And it sold on Etsy for $17.95.
We had a comment about using the word vintage, and if you happy birthday to your channel.
Yes, 4 years, y'all. We've been doing this.
April 19th. Yeah, this is our 4th year. It just popped up here.
I saw it this morning.
I hadn't seen that yet. So let me pop in here to the comments. This was from a name I'm going to butcher. Karen Petrosovitz. Karen said that when I search for something on eBay, vintage is the first word I type. I collect a lot of stuff, and I don't want to look through pages of new junk. You mentioned that with the Cabbage Patch stuff, that if you have the room, you'll put vintage in there so that people that are buying can distinguish between the older stuff and the new stuff. So things like that, like Karen is searching for, or the Cabbage Patch things, might be the kind of thing, if there's old stuff and new stuff, that you might want to use the word vintage in there if you have room for it.
Yeah. All right. In Sync Bear plush from 2000 sold for $9.85. This thing had been listed forever. So glad to see it gone. And then this. I picked this up at the Sasha Doll estate sale. It was in a little glass display case. I ended up picking up this Lenox Canterbury Crossing spice jar. This seems to do better than the other Lenox spice jars that I see more often in the solds and on videos and stuff. But this one sold for $62.95 on Etsy. All right, and then for eBay, if you're new to my channel, I don't do free shipping. So when I say it sold for $9, the buyer has also paid shipping. I get comments about this all the time, that they think I sold it for $9. I still have to pay fees and shipping, but no, that's not how I do it. I don't do free shipping. Tried it for 1 year, made more sales, but made less money. And it's just not something I want to do.
So we did more work and got less out of it?
Exactly. All right, this is a Russ, My First Puppy Dog plush, sold for $9. Express Jeans Stella Low Rise Skinny sold for $13. I think I sold quite a bit of clothes. All right, Kohl's Cares If You Give a Cat a Cupcake, we talked about this plush. This seems to be one of the higher dollar items other than the Click Clack Moo plush single item in like the If You Give animal series. But a lot of times you don't get this kind of money for many of the Kohl's Cares anyway, unless it's lots. But the cat sold for $26.95. It also sold with my 10% store coupon, but it doesn't reflect that in the price. So, you know, I put 10% on here, so the price was actually 10% less. But I didn't have a whole lot of these sales, but I did make a whole lot more sales, and I'll share with you guys with some of these. I think it just eBay pushed my store a little bit more. This is Little Live Pets. They are interactive stuffed animals by Moose. Will not pick them up again. Took forever, but it did sell for $16.95 plus the 10% store coupon. Like I said before, if the buyer sent me an offer and I accepted it, or if I sent out offers, that 10% coupon does not work with it. These are Levi's 515 women's denim shorts, sold for $13.21. Cushy Pals Monkey Plush. I love when something is on sale for $11.66 and I get an offer for $11. You can't do much better than that. So just sometimes it makes you chuckle. Walmart Light Blue Bunny Rabbit sold for $11.43. Whitman's Columbia, Canada Jigsaw Puzzle. I bought a bunch of these many years ago in a bulk buy. Never again. We will focus on the more contemporary ones, like, you know, the White Mountain ones that we like to pick up. The what is his name? Something.
Charles Wysocki.
Yeah, Wysocki ones, those type. I won't buy these Guild and Milton Bradleys and stuff like that. They take forever.
The older ones, like the ones that I was putting together when I was a kid, just don't seem to do well.
Not at all. You know, the farm scenes and the mountains and the forests and, you know, towns, other than the Charles Wysocki. We like them, but do they sell for a lot? No.
And the boats in the water.
Yeah.
I put a lot of those together when I was a kid.
Yep. All right, this was probably from the bins. I don't see these very often, but this is from Manhattan Toy, and they're just like a wooden bead activity type toy, sold for $10. Mary Meyer Finger Puppet. I don't find them very often. Love that whole brand, Mary Meyer, but this one sold for $8. This was from the lot of stuff that I picked up at a local Facebook pickup a couple weeks ago. I ended up keeping quite a bit of what I picked up there for myself, for my wall, my non-existent wall, that taxes are now done and it's still not put together.
It's still after taxes. It's still after taxes.
But I've sold a couple pieces from that. So everything that I'm selling that I didn't keep is helping to recoup what I spent for the stuff I wanted, right? These 3 Weebles Treehouse replacement leaves sold for $20.20.
Looks like a green brain.
Mm-hmm. Play School Baby Bop and Barney baby bottles. I want to say I paid $1 or $2 each for them. They were from 1993, sold for $26.95. Less 10%. Mattel Mini Popples Plush. I have found this a few times. It's little, 3.5 inches. The face is like a vinyl plastic. Tends to have paint rubs and stuff on it. I enjoy finding Popples. And this one sold for $15.26. Columbia Men's Jeans sold for $22.21. Denim Overalls Dress by Bacchini sold for $26.71. bilingual math t-shirt sold for $15.01 minus the 10. Lamax, we just picked this up recently. I don't remember where though. Do you remember?
What?
I just showed this in a recent video. Must have been an estate sale. Probably paid a couple bucks for it. And do you remember?
I'm just stuck on you getting ready to say you paid a couple ducks for it, but
I did not. I said a couple bucks.
you almost said ducks.
And it sold for $19.
You stumbled on it.
I did. I'm working on my little people stuff, but it's funny as I'm making larger lots of them, but I haven't finished with the animal ones yet. And all of a sudden, I sold this set. These are just a little people rhino and panda bear, sold for $8.95.
I just got to say, with paying like a couple ducks for that we have enough problems with eBay. We don't need like a barter system where people mail us chickens for a pair of pants or something.
No. All right. Just picked this up recently at a kind of yard sale / estate sale. He charged me $5 for 4 vehicles. 2 of them I didn't want and I got rid of. But the 2 that I really wanted, the 2 Fisher Price ones, they've sold. I think one sold for 30 something. And then this one sold for $30. This is from 1999. It's a Loving Family dollhouse sounds vehicle. Everything worked just fine. So nice turnaround because it was what, $60 some for my $5 investment. Born women's T-strap sandals. I think I picked them up for myself at some point and just did not think they were comfortable at all. So ended up selling them $12.93. Talbots. Let me tell you, y'all, we picked up a bunch of Talbots recently. I think at a thrift store. I think it was the fill a bag for $10, and then we went back and filled 2 bags for $10. But I have been selling the heck out of Talbots. So it's definitely one of those ones you need to be keeping an eye out for. These were jeggings, size 6 petite, and they sold for $15.19 almost immediately. These next 2 sales are from our viewer sales, so thank you so much, Tracy. Tracy ended up picking up these LOL surprise lots that I had put together. It did use the 10% coupon, so this first set sold for $49.95. And then the second one sold for $59.95. So thank you very much, Tracy. All right, Disney Princess Figures lot. This was part of the huge Barbie lot that I forced myself to get through at the beginning of last year. Made tons and tons of listings from it. And these cake topper figures sold for $8.96. Levi's women's boyfriend jeans sold for $15.94. These, Robert, last video, pretty sure I sold the first set of these for $30. And then somebody sent out offers of a lot, and it sold for $19.33.
I mean, look at that. Let's see. That is over 2 years old. If you don't want me sending out 50% offers, don't buy junk that sits around for 2 years.
Yeah.
If you don't want offers more than 10%, don't buy junk that sits around for more than 3 months.
Yeah, I know. But, right?
No,
we all need a Robert to force us to get rid of the stuff when you know you need to be taking these offers. You know you need to be.
I buy plenty of stuff that sits forever.
Yeah.
I mean, you look in the, every now and then she'll say something, yeah, it's been there a while. It's just, we buy things and it looked good at the moment. And I was in a hurry and I didn't look and I didn't see that there were, 200 listed and 2 sold because I just looked at the selling price and thought, just $20, that's good.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to the sell-through rate unless it's something. If it's stuff you sell regularly, But if it's something different, check that sell-through rate. There's a formula for sell-through rate. It's got something to do. You're supposed to have your head forward so my head looks smaller and it doesn't look like a giant basketball. but there's a formula for it. It's like the number listed plus the number sold in the last 90 days divided by the square root of pi or something like that, right? And it's just way too complicated. I look at how many are listed and how many are sold. If there are 10 listed and 2 sold, I call that a 5-to-1. It's just there are 5 times as many listed as have sold in the past 90 days. And the lower that number is, better. Every now and then I find something where there's like 5 listed and 8 sold. So that number is going to be less than 1, which is awesome if you get something like that. So keep it simple. It's serving the same purpose. It's probably not the correct accounting or inventory management way to do it, but it serves the same purpose. It serves the same purpose, and it's easier to do in my head.
Yep.
And figure out which sell-through rate you're comfortable with. If your space is small, you might have to have something that's like 2-to-1. You got more space, you might be good with 10-to-1. And it also depends on price. If I'm going to make, buy it for $1 and sell it for 10, or buy it for $1 and sell it for 50, that 50 one can sit around a little longer than that one that's going to sell for 10.
Clark's patent leather slip-on shoes sold for $15. We haven't been picking up a whole bunch of shoes. And I have a tote that needs cleaned.
A tote?
A tote of shoes.
I haven't found good shoes lately. They're either overpriced at like $18 a pair for used shoes at an estate sale, or they are just grungy or just stuff that's not going to sell well. That's all I've been finding lately.
Dakin Brown Bear Plush, 1978, sold for $10. Oh, let's all laugh at Robert again. His glitch. Robert's glitch. This was the second set of McDonald's adult Happy Meal toys that sold that got Robert all discombobulated, and he shipped one, and he thought eBay was glitching, and it was really I had sold both. But I haven't seen a defect. So I'm guessing, even though I was a day late in shipping the second one, I think it made it there still in time. And eBay doesn't give you a defect if it gets there in time before the dates that they anticipate. Yeah. So this set, though, sold for $19.95.
How's that item we ordered? That we ordered from West Tennessee, that went to Iowa and traveled around for a while, then finally made it to North Carolina. It's still in North Carolina the last I checked.
Yeah, it's been 10 days or 12 days since we ordered it.
Yeah, 12 days since we ordered it.
The post office is still, it's left Tennessee never to return, I guess.
On April 7th.
Yeah. Post office is sucking right now. I have filed, I think, 5 or 6 claims this year so far with the post office. I think 1 or 2 of them have been for damage, but I think 3 or 4 of them have been for, lost packages. It stops tracking. Our buyers open up a case and we have to refund. Once it stops tracking, there's not much more we can do. You can try to get eBay involved a little bit, but you don't really want to. Just go ahead and refund, and then I immediately file a claim. And I have received checks for every single one of the ones that I filed a claim on. And believe it or not, they start tracking eventually again. It might be another week. It might be another 2 weeks. And it starts tracking again, and then they get delivered. But I got reimbursed. My buyer got refunded. I think only one of them has actually reached back out to me and said, hey, I got my package. How do I pay you again? And I just explained to them, I was reimbursed by the post office. Don't worry about it.
If you lose your package for that long, it should be free.
I looked up today on the postal website. You can file a claim after 15 days for a lost package. So I'll have Robert put up something, but I think you have up to 60 days to file a claim for a lost package. But just do it right away. When you have to refund a buyer, file that claim. Every single time I've gone ahead and done that, and I've been reimbursed for the lost packages. So, all right, green decorative pottery planner sold for $10.95. Fisher-Price Little People, I combined a lot of my vintage ones also, started making larger lots. This one sold almost immediately, $25.50 for a lot of 13 of them. Mattel 101 Dalmatian Patch the dog sold for $24.95. If he had had his little collar, he would have sold for probably double that, but he was missing his collar. Hallmark Coco the Koala Bear plush took forever to sell, $11.66. Free People women's bib overalls sold for $35.71. TB Trading Company Dalmatian dog sold for $13.45. Another viewer sale, so thank you so much, Yvonne. Yvonne bought this Dan Bretschner yellow dog plush that I just listed, sold for $12. We picked these up, I think at an estate sale maybe. They were just a bag of felt pieces. A lot of them seem to, maybe have been used in a preschool or maybe a Sunday school class. Lots of different themes. Somebody had divvied them out for me, had them all labeled. I didn't even lay them out. Let's get this off my screen. Yeah, I didn't even lay them out. I just showed the pictures of how they were, and they sold in less than a month for $31. Dakin Theodore Musical Bear. This was from that large private pick estate sale that I went to last year, no, 2 years ago, and he sold for $35.95. Wild Republic Brown Walrus plush sold for $17.95. Walmart White Rabbit plush with the black tipped ears sold for $13.45. This was a very quick sell. Picked it up just recently also. It is Animal Fair. They are called Chubbles. I thought I had a video of it working, but it looks like it never made it into... When you do the videos in your listings, you really do need to go back and make sure eBay accepted them. Sometimes they don't, and then I would probably go the other route where you put it on YouTube and then put the link back into the listing. But obviously it didn't bother this one very much because it sold very quickly. $26.95. And my best sale of the weekend was this. Another set of the Playmobil. I bought a huge lot of Playmobil many years ago. Robert forced me to get it listed. It was just totes and totes and totes of stuff. I think I have one more tote left I haven't gotten to yet. But these were just smalls, tons and tons of pieces and parts. There are resellers out there who list this stuff piece by piece, and that's kind of what I was gearing these towards. I didn't want to do the work. Too much of a project for me, but there's more than 100 pieces here, and somebody's probably going to spend the time to identify each piece and list them that way. And good on them, but I sold this lot for $100. All right, y'all. Going to make several videos today. I've got to do a couple of haul videos. We hit some yard sales and estate sales this week. Had more disappointments, but happily disappointed because a friend found the things that I had gone to this estate sale for. She got there before me and she ended up getting it, which I'm glad. But
I think you need to be totally honest here and say former friend.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's the game. I'm glad that it was a friend that got it. Because somebody was slack-a-lacking and getting me to the estate sale on.
You said to get there by 10:30.
We're going to have to get...
Or was it 11:30? 11:30.
11:30, yeah.
We got there at 11:37, and it wouldn't have mattered if we'd have been there at 11:29.
Yeah. People were lining up hours ahead of time. So, but next time I'm going to be there a little bit earlier.
Congratulations, Courtney.
Yeah, yes. Definitely congrats, Courtney. You got an amazing find. And it's going to be in a pick-in video, so...
Did you talk about the other thing she got? Oh, she might do a video on it. She
Yes,
does
she needs
videos
to
every
do a
now and then.
video on it. Yep. All right, so let me go ahead and sign out. It's time to get to work, y'all. Bye.